Welcome to the channel, guys. We are back again, and today we're doing a first impression for Sweetie Aoud by Roja Parfums, so stay tuned for that. And if you like the content, guys, hit that like and subscribe button. I really do appreciate it. Now, I'm someone that loves gourmand fragrances. I especially like things that really smell like delicious dessert treats, and I've heard a lot about Sweetie Aoud, so I had to check it out. This one apparently has some kind of like a cookie or macaroon kind of a vibe, and I recently won a contest from Decant Boutique. This was on Brooklyn Fragrance Lovers channel, and I did win a certificate for some Decant samples. So I picked this one out among others, so you're going to see a lot of reviews from there. So as I did actually win this competition, I did want to just do a little detailed showing of what it is I actually got from the fragrance Decant Boutique. It is actually quite a nice little service. They actually had a nice selection. I got a bunch of different boxes like this with decants like this one. I was a little surprised because it looks like everything is 5 ml, even though I ordered 1 ml or 3 ml for a bunch of stuff. But I did get a ton of stuff. I think they have decent value. I also like how even with a 1 ml you get a spray option. You can get I think a 1 ml that's just a dab on, but I really don't like those because I find something about it makes it a little bit different or off for me. But in either case, got a bunch of these. So a lot of reviews will be coming up soon about the fragrances that I did pick up. Some of the things being Toy Boy, which I did actually smell the other day. Very surprised by that one because it is a rose fragrance that does smell really amazing. And then I got some Creed fragrances. I got Annie. I got something from, I believe, Joy Voy Paris, which I've really been looking forward to trying out. But there you go. It is worth checking out. I'm going to leave a link down below just so you know this is not a sponsored video. It is just the case that I happened to win a certificate from them, and so I wanted to do this shout out. Thank you, Brooklyn Fragrance Lover. It was on his channel, and I did in fact get my order pretty quick considering it had to cross the border into Canada, and you know how COVID is definitely slowing things down. But anyways, let's get into this first impression. Without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, that one is actually really quite sweet right on the opening. I definitely get also a little bit of the spices. I get a kind of creaminess, and I can see why people say this smells kind of like a macaroon or something like that, because I do definitely get a sort of creamy vibe that reminds me maybe of the inside filling actually of an Oreo. But there's a lot of spices in there too, and I definitely get some woodiness. So along with this gourmand aspect, there is a more spicy, woody kind of a vibe that actually really offsets it a lot. So this is something that is a bit of a balancing act between sweet and spicy, gourmand and not gourmand, at least off the first impression. That oud is definitely there. It's not really skanky, but it does have a little hint of pungentness to it, and it is very strong, actually overcoming the sweetness to a degree. I'm getting actually quite a bit of sillage here in the air as well as my hand is moving around, so I do get the impression that this one is a pretty strong performer. I will say people have said this is like a masterpiece gourmand. I'm not entirely sure on first impression that I agree with that. Now, I do actually like this on first impression, but it is something that kind of balances between gourmand and like a woody, spicy kind of a fragrance, which to me doesn't really make it a full kind of gourmand. It does have this nice sweet opening, but it definitely has a lot of that spice and that wood to really dial it back from being gourmand. But again, I'm getting a nice sort of creamy vibe with sort of a nice oudy, spicy vibe. And the spicy oud doesn't actually remind me anything of something like if you think of oud wood, which is a spicy oud fragrance. This is quite a bit different because the oud is completely different smelling. in this fragrance, and the spice actually is quite a bit different. I know there's cumin, there's also, I believe, cardamom. And I think cardamom's in oud wood, but whatever the case is, the combination of spices here gives off a much different spicy impression and actually a much more potent spiciness. But underneath all of that, there is this really, really nice sort of creamy, sweet, kind of like a cookie. I can definitely see why people have said this smells a little bit like a macaroon, for sure. Although I don't know that I would necessarily say that, but there is this very nice creamy sweetness. But to me, that's actually the background. So again, definitely something that's dominated by more to my nose on the initial impression, spicy, woody. This is nice. I do want to give this one a full wearing. I do think so far this is a solid fragrance. Very expensive, but something that is definitely worth checking out for people who like sweet, who like spicy, who like oud. It definitely has a really high quality smell to it, and that sweetness really does add a bit of a really nice intrigue to the spicy, woody vibe. So this is one that I think is actually very classy off first impression. I would wear this one, and I find this is the case for a lot of the Rojas. I would wear this one for a more formal or more special occasion because it is something that smells so luxurious. But yeah, I think that's going to be my first impression for now. This one, first impression, definitely like this one. I think it's a little bit different than I was expecting, kind of, and definitely not as gourmandy as I would have expected, or for me to really consider this a full-on gourmand. It's certainly not, but it does have those facets to it, which makes it a nice, interesting, and complex fragrance. Very, very good. Definitely going to give this one a full wearing, do a full review, talk about projection, longevity, dry down, all of those things. Anyways, guys, have you tried anything from Roja? Have you tried Sweetie Aoud? Have you tried any of the Tutti Frutti line? I know there were 2 other fragrances that I believe were discontinued. But leave a comment down below with your thoughts. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.